Hi everyone, today I'll speak about Flickr software architecture. Flickr is a world leading photo sharing website. Flickr is built on PHP, MySQL and Java have been used for the services. So here is the Flickr architecture. Before that actually we'll talk about some of the fact about Flickr. There are more than 4 billion queries per day. It has 35 million photos in the squared cache. I'll come back what is squared cache in a minute. 2 million photo in the squared RAM. 470 million photos. Each of them has 4 or 5 copies. So it's around, if you take it's like 200,000 million photos. And then we have 2 petabyte of raw storage, and most of them actually consumed on Sunday. These are peak hours, 1.5 terabyte consumed on Sunday, and over 400,000 photos have been added every day. Here is the Flickr architecture. On the top there is a pair of server irons. Server iron is used for load balancing switches, and it used by many small and large organizations. And just below that we have squared caches. Squared caches are the proxy for the web. It supports HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, and can be configured to use by other protocols too. It can use to reduce the bandwidth and improve the response time by caching and reusing the pages or contents which have been frequently used, like web pages or photos. It actually supports almost all operating systems, including Windows. And below that we have net apps and PHP app servers, and then we have storage manager. And below that we have master slaves. Actually we can say database shredding, which partitioning schemas for large databases across a number of servers, which actually help us to on the scalability of database. There's a number of shredding approaches, but related to Flickr, actually we can talk about two kind of master slave and multi-master. And master slave, there is the simplest options and have been used by a lot of organizations. This one master server for all kind of write operation like create, update, delete, and one or many additional server actually which we call slabs that provide read-only operation. And another kind of is master or where actually we have a database replication which allows data to be stored by multiple computers and updated by any member of the group. So all the members are actually responsible for all kind of data operation. And then we're going back to the previous slide here. And then we have kind of dual tree center databases. Dual tree structure actually is a custom set of changes in the MySQL which actually help us to scale the database. And by then we have actually memcached cluster, which is basically we can think it is a short-term memory in the application. And on the end, actually lower, we can see the big clusters of search engine. Now, this is the architecture in the Flickr, and then they have made several very critical architectural decisions, which are use a dedicated server for the static content, which do not change. Then they use the extra set of dedicated server for that, and everything stored in the database except those the 5 pictures. So storing the pictures in the file system has several advantages over storing on the database, because we can accelerate the the operating systems itself have some capability which can accelerate it. Apart from that, when we actually store the pictures in the database, we need to do encoding. When you retrieve data from the database and to the web server, we need to encode it and send back to the browser. So it have some extra processing. So by storing the pictures in the file system, we can avoid these things. And then we can do horizontal scaling if we stored in the file system easily than storing if we store in the database. Also, Flickr used initially master-slave lag, for database. Now they switch to master-master. And one important thing they have done, each server in the shred is always near 50% loaded. So any moment, if half of the server shutting down, do not impact the services. So this is very, very helpful while we are doing actually the maintenance. Half of the server shut down, upgrade those and check these are doing good, then do throw those up and then shut down other half. So this way actually upgradation process, we do not impact the user, interrupt the services. So always up even though half of the servers are down. And here are some links. I have borrowed some resource and some images from, and that's all from me. And if you have any question, please feel free to put in the discussion forum. Thank you very much for watching my slideshow.